Hello students, this video is here to show you how to insert gears into the automata and make them fit. Okay, so if you want to have two axles turn at the same time, let's say you're going to crank one and then the other one is going to turn. When you crank one, the other one's going to turn. So to have the other axle turn, you need to connect it with gears. All right, so for example, these two are connected by these two gears. And if I animate this first one right here, then they are both going to turn. This one is on a different gear ratio. I'll show you that. It's on a 5-to-1 gear ratio. That's why they're not turning at the same time. But yeah, I'll show you that. But that's how you get two axles to turn, is you have to connect it with gears. Okay, so how do you just insert gears? Inserting gears is actually not too hard. You don't need to put them on the outside, you can put them on the inside. So they're basically a fastened mate to the axle because the axle and the gear are stuck together and they don't move. So I would just go on the square on the outside and make sure it pops up there, and then see if you can get the, oops, I hit something here. Make sure you get the square on the inside here. Let's see if we can get that to work. There we go. It didn't pop up, so it didn't come up here, so make sure it comes up there, and there we go. Do that. Okay, it came up there, so let's see what it looks like now, and looks like it's good. So if I try to turn this and this, the gear and the axle should turn at the same time. All right, so let's say you want this on the inside. You don't have to have them on the end. Then once you have them there, you can offset them. So the z-axis is coming out, so probably gonna have to go negative here. Let's say negative 0.5, half an inch in. Oh, it went the other way. I thought that would be positive. And so we will go positive 0.5, all right? And let's see where that ends up. That's kind of ending up right there. So you can change that up and put it exactly where you want. Let's do 0.75. All right, right in there. And then you would do the same thing for the other one. We're going to offset it and do 0.75. That one needs to be negative. That's funny. Just the way you mate things, sometimes what you click first can make things positive or negative. All right, so then we have them in there, and you might want to have the gears in there. That's totally fine. So how do you get the gear ratio to work? First of all, by the way, these are the 3 gear sizes you have, and since the spacing is the same, you're either going to put 2 gears of the same size next to each other. That would make both axles turn at the same rate. What if you, because if this turns 1 turn, that's going to turn 1 turn. Or you could have gears of different size, all right? And if this turns once, then this is going to turn, this is 60, and the gear ratio, you divide the in by the out. So 60 teeth divided by 12 teeth, this is 5. So this is going to turn once while this turns 5 times, and I believe we have it set for that. So notice the green one's going to do a long, slow loop, and this one's going to turn 5 times as I turn these things. Okay. All right, so how do you set a gear ratio? First of all, you can't have both. You either have this setup or that setup. And so it depends on, do you want things in the front row and the back row popping up and moving at the same rate, or do you want them popping up at different rates? This is going to be different rates, and that's going to be the same rate. So how do you set a gear ratio? Well, I already set one right here. You go to, I'm going to suppress this. And so here is where you set a gear ratio. And notice, and one thing important about gear ratio is that you don't even need gears. You can set this to turn and that to turn, even if nothing's touching. Notice these are not even really meshing. Like you could rotate these. It's not like they're actually moving, but what you do is you select 2 revolute mates, and that's going to be this revolute mate and that revolute mate. So I'm going to say this revolute mate right here and that revolute mate right there. and I'm going to set it. You have to figure out the gear ratio, but I'm going to set a gear ratio something extreme to 20, right? So one's going to turn 20 times while the other one turns once. Okay, and so I'm going to click OK. And now you set a gear ratio of 20. So if I turn this one, the other one is turning really slow. Okay. All right. So you got to set the proper gear ratio. This would be a 1-to-1. This would be a 5-to-1. And then you got to turn it. This one should turn slower to that one. All right. So you either got gear ratio 1-to-1 or 5-to-1. Okay. And that is gear ratios. Okay. So again, you're either going to put them on the outside or the inside. You can put them in the middle. You can put them wherever you want. All right. But you will have to have a crank to turn on that side.